and welcome to Council Catch-Up here on WSTO TV, TDS Channel 12, Charter Channel 981, on Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, Android, and iOS apps. We're going to talk about two council meetings today because I was on vacation after the last one. So first we're going to just go through the highlights of the June 13th meeting. And so I'm here with Mayor Swadley, and we're going to talk about first the Kettle Park West one.
Kettle Park West, we had a proposal to do 96 multifamily units out behind the True Hotel by Hilton. And there was some concerns that were raised by council members about that particular location. You might recall that years ago the plan was to build a convention center behind the hotel, and that really just didn't develop because of the pandemic. And the developer would like to repurpose those lots, and they have to go through a zoning process to do that. And as part of that zoning process, they decided to go through what we call a planned development, which gives the developers more flexibility on things like setbacks and landscaping and those types of issues. And the city council decided that they really weren't in support of that plan, so that motion did fail. And there was another resolution that was attached to that was tabled. And we anticipate that they'll come back with another proposal.
All right. And then there was quite a bit to do with Magnolia Springs on there also.
Yeah, so Magnolia Springs is south of Stoughton, where 4th Street connects with Taylor Lane and Ocker Road, formerly known as the Tigan Farm. And that development will be done by Eldon Homes, and we're just going through the final approval processes. The plat had previously been approved. We did some, rezoning for the specific lots that are going to be used for the single-family homes and duplexes. So there was a number of items related to that, as well as developer's agreement with Eldon Homes to move forward on that project. We're hoping that they'll begin construction either late this fall or early in the spring.
All right. And then also just wanted to highlight that the Catfish River Music Festival had their event license and temporary alcohol licenses for their event that they're having this weekend at Rotary Park. So if you're looking for something to do, you can head on down to the Catfish River Music Festival this weekend and the fair next week. So we'll move on to the June 27th meeting, and we'll actually go through this whole agenda, which is nice and short. So the first item of business was to amend Section 70-176 of the Stoughton Code of Ordinances relating to parking on Wilson Street.
So we had a request from the police chief to have a 40-foot setback on the corner of Lincoln and Wilson Street to accommodate better visibility for pedestrians as they go to school.
All right, and then item number 8 was Ordinance 22, which is also a first reading, to repeal a section of the ordinances related to the investment policy.
So the investment policy is a policy that was developed many years ago, so it's kind of antiquated. I think it was developed because of the need or the use of junk bonds back then, and really what we try to do is really modernize that ordinance, and it really is more consistent with what's in the state statutes.
And then I'm sure that ties into Resolution 105 to amend the policy itself.
Right, and there was a motion to waive the first reading for the ordinance so we could take action on that. That was approved, as well as the resolution for the new policy.
All right. And then Resolution 106, City of Stoughton meal reimbursement to index with the U.S. General Services Administration rates. First of all, what does that mean?
Basically, if a city employee goes to a conference, they can get reimbursed for their mileage and their meals as expenses. So recently we had updated the mileage to make it consistent with the federal mileage standards, which will vary from year to year. And we typically link this stuff to the computer price index, so we don't have to come back and constantly change our policies and ordinances. It'll just automatically be adjusted based on the inflationary numbers. And the meal policy, what we did is if the conference is in Dane County or in Wisconsin, we're basically using the Dane County rates. And if it's out of state, we would use the federal rates for a meal reimbursement for the employees.
All right. Resolution 107 of 2023, repeal City of Stoughton interest on donated funds policy.
So our finance director worked with the utilities finance manager, and they came together to provide some more flexibility in our lending. So if they are borrowing in our interest that we might earn on our money. And so we wanted to provide more flexibility so we could do more collaboration and get better interest rates as we invest in those sorts of things.
All right. Resolution 108 of 2023 is to amend the budget for a library HVAC system evaluation.
So we've been planning on doing some upgrades to the air handling system at the library the last few years, and it really kind of came to light during the pandemic. Air quality is obviously an issue, especially the last few days here. So try to minimize your outdoors activity here the next couple days until this clears up. But as far as inside air quality, we've been doing upgrades and putting high efficiency systems in all of our buildings. And at the library, we felt it would be more cost effective and more efficient if we added some additional analysis to the proposal that we had in front of us. So basically we're asking for more money this year so we could get into the initial design phase of it as long as we have a contractor there.
All right. Resolution 109, 2023 to amend the budget for Sustainability Committee.
Yeah, so the Sustainability Committee was formed last year. The City Council approved some money for that initiative. We've been working with UW Extension to facilitate the process and eventually write a plan. They're almost at the point where they're going to start drafting the plan. And what happens is at the end of the year, we used to carry over the money, but really the state statute really doesn't want you to do these carryovers. They want you to do basically reapprove the money for the following year. It needs a 2/3 vote to do that. So it's really just kind of a formality. The money had already been approved, already been borrowed for, and we're just using it in a different year.
All right. And then Resolution 110, approving the food pantry mission statement.
So the food pantry mission statement that they had in place was done many years ago, and it really went beyond what you would normally see in a mission. It also included language that would be more policy, and they do have a separate policy manual that language is already included. So Mike Heger was there and really did a nice job explaining kind of the rationale to try to make the mission more focused, more succinct. There was a couple suggestions that were made by council members to add a couple words here and there, and it was approved. And Mike, while he was there, also kind of gave an overview of what we do at the pantry. Recently, there was some remodeling that was done. Wagemeyer's was generous enough to donate some flooring and the labor to install it. Volunteers went in there and did some painting. The food pantry serves many people in Stoughton area throughout the year. It's been extremely busy here lately. There was a lot of money that was available during the pandemic. That money has dried up, so a lot of people are utilizing the food pantry, and they've done an amazing job of trying to make sure that they have enough food available. The volunteers are there, and we can increase our services. They've been able to go to twice a month availability for families in need, as well as some delivery. So it's quite a program that we have down there, and it's really expanded here in the last couple of years.
All right. Then the last item on this agenda and the previous agenda talks about resignation of two different council members.
Yeah, so the first council member, Frank Raff, had resigned a few weeks ago, and that position has been posted. You can find it on our website, our social media, or you could contact the clerk for more information. She can email you the application if you're interested in District 4. And then we were notified that Alder Venegas is in District 1, and she's going to be moving to District 2, so she can no longer serve in District 1. So we're going to have a vacancy in Aldermanic District 1 as well. So the cutoff for District 4 is July 7th, and then the application period for District 1 will go for about 3 weeks.
All right, sounds good. That's all we had for these two meetings. And as always, you can watch the whole meetings on WSTO.tv and on the cable channels and smart TV apps. So we'll see you next time for Council Catch Up, and have a great day.